What is up, Jamily? This is JamiroFan 2000 here with yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About, where I talk about the past, present, and future of the band JamiroQuai and their over 27 years of music making in the world today. And I did see a few YouTube comments that gave me an idea for a new JamiroFan Talks About episode, so here is that episode. I did see in the comments a few of my YouTube videos of fans wondering what was happening with the former band members of JamiroQuai from the past. Well, I thought I'd do a JamiroFan Talks About to basically talk about what most of the most major band members have been doing outside of JamiroQuai since whenever they left the band. And we'll start with, of course, one of the most influential bassists of his generation and one of the musical instrumental cornerstones of JamiroQuai's sound, all the way up to the synchronized era. And I'm talking, of course, of Stuart Zender. Stuart Zender, after he left the band in 1999, after differences with JK, which there's differing points of view on that whole can of worms of discussion, but I won't go into great detail about that. But I will let you know what Stuart has been up to. As many of us Jamily members know, that Stuart Zender is heavily active on social media, most notably on Instagram. His Instagram stories are some of the most entertaining pieces of social media activity you can see in the Jamily of most of the major band members that are active on Instagram. But as for what Stuart has been doing since he left JamiroQuai, nearly removed 15 years ago, he has been a studio musician. He's been working with a lot of artists here and there in the studio and in the live stage, but Stuart has been keeping himself very busy being a studio musician and actually performing with several other notable artists in mostly the UK scene. But Stuart is still very, very active as a musician and of course a magnet on social media. As for the other band member, Simon Katz, you might remember Simon Katz as being the rhythm guitarist of JamiroQuai up to the synchronized era, but Simon ended up going off and becoming a music producer, and he still creates music in his own music in his own time. But Simon has also been keeping himself busy, but mostly doing music production. Another major artist of JamiroQuai, another major component and a cornerstone of the early JamiroQuai song, Wallace Buchanan, who you might remember was, of course, the Lord of the Didgeridoo, or known to us JamiroQuai fans here in the West as the Yee-Key. Wallace Buchanan left the band left the band during the Supersonic single era, and he went off and he was an artist. What he's been doing in his own time has been being an artist, and he is a very accomplished artist based off his social media. Now, Wallace is probably one of the less social media active former members of the band JamiroQuai, but he did make a resurgence onto Facebook, and I haven't got to directly talk to him about his time in JamiroQuai, but hopefully the day will come where he will open up on his social media to the fans and take inquiries. But he's been an artist, and he, based off his social media, he still does play the didgeridoo and the Yee-Key with a good amount of activity. But of course, we lost former JamiroQuai keyboardist and songwriting partner, the J.K. Toby Smith, a few years ago. But Toby, after he left JamiroQuai around the synchronized era, he also went into music production, and he produced a lot of notable artists, ranging from Julian Peretta to most notably the British band The Hoosiers, and had a lot of great success. He created his own studios called Angelic Studios for a short time, but Toby still stayed very, very active in music creation and in music productions most specifically. But yeah, and that's pretty much what most of the major band, at least some of the most notable band members of JamiroQuai, have been up to recently. I do believe Stuart is still very, as I said, Stuart is still very active on his Instagram and on Facebook. As for the current band members of JamiroQuai, Derek McKenzie, of course, he's been with the band for a very, very long time. He does a lot of drum clinics. He does a lot of DJ sets and DJ work. So Derek keeps himself himself busy in between JamiroQuai tours. Rob Harris, in his own right, he also does guitar lessons and has been making music with a lot of side project bands and doing music production in his spare time. Same thing with JamiroQuai, current JamiroQuai keyboardist Matt Johnson. He has been very busy in music production and making music outside of JamiroQuai and his side projects. But Rob, Derek, and Paul have all branched out and opening their own websites online, offering instrumental lessoning and also participating in a lot of drum clinics. Specifically in the last 5 years, they have been doing a lot of drum clinics known as the JamiroQuai Rhythm Section, and they've been doing awesome master classes in public at music shops all around Europe and where they touring. They sometimes did some master classes near the parts of the world that they did concerts at. So yeah, those band members have also kept themselves very, very busy. JamiroQuai percussionist Sola Akembala, he has been doing a lot of charitable work in between his work with JamiroQuai, and also Sola has been doing a lot of classical work, mostly on the stage, doing a lot of work with the London theater companies and a lot of revivals of old plays. So Sola has also been keeping himself very, very busy. He also has an official website too. So that's pretty much an update on all the band members that I can think of that have been either in JamiroQuai or out of JamiroQuai and what they've been currently up to. I hope I did them justice in this episode of JamiroFan Talks About and giving updates on what's been happening with those band members. And if anything majorly changes with any of the current or past band members of JamiroQuai, I'll be sure to pass them on here on feature videos here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to click that little bell button on your YouTube account to make sure you are up to date with all the latest new notifications of new content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel of new episodes of JamiroFan Talks About, the JamiroQuai Minute, and much more JamiroQuai related videos as we go into a new year and potentially a new tour and a new album period that will hopefully be starting sometime in late 2019 into 2020. And as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I'll see you again really soon with another JamiroFan Talks About, another JamiroQuai Minute, and more JamiroQuai related videos here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody, and happy holidays.